I studied Orson Welles. I'm a big fan of his. He taught me everything I need to know that is good, never give up, and everything that is bad, sometimes give up. He went after, what's his name, William Randolph Hearst with Citizen Kane, and it destroyed him. I'm sorry, George, you're not my rosebud. George Soros is, I think, an evil dude. Evil dude. I get so frustrated with him because, for instance, I just saw on the Time most influential people in the world, the 100 most influential people or something, this website thing. It means nothing because it's a vote, but I think I'm like number 5, or that's what it was around noon. I was number 5. You know who's not even on the list? Not even a candidate. Time magazine didn't even think George Soros should even be on the list. So now he's up doing Bretton Woods 3 to restructure our global finance, all of the rules, but he's not influential at all, and the media. Now here he is. He's going after AstroTurf and billionaire activists. You want to talk about the pot calling the kettle black? It's like the whole pot community. George Soros is upset about fake grassroots. So he's holding a conference that is being hosted by the George Soros-funded Free Press, attended by the George Soros-funded Color for Change, the George Soros-funded Center for Media Justice, the George Soros-funded Common Cause, the George Soros Media Access Project, the George Soros-funded Sunlight Foundation, that one makes me laugh every time, the George Soros-funded Think Progress, the George Soros-funded Campus Progress, the George Soros-funded New America Foundation, and a fellow at the George Soros Open Society Institute, Dean Starkman. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Honestly, it looks like he is now just taking pictures of our chalkboards and holding conventions. That's all it is. You can't make this stuff up, and he's complaining about the fake grassroots. It's being held in the Social Justice and Movement Building. Other attendees include Democracy Now!, The Nation, Nancy Pelosi, Socialist U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, FCC commissioners, this should bother you, Mignon Clyburn, Jane Clyburn's daughter, and Michael Copps. Hundreds of others are in attendance. Invitation only, have you know, invitation only. So at least there is no one of any influence going to any of this or anything. There's no one pushing or shaping. Or is it that no one will show you? My problem is neither of those. My problem is this. Where are the leaders anywhere in the world? Where is Winston Churchill? Where is anyone standing up for freedom? You know why they're talking about the Koch brothers all the time? Koch brothers look like romper room compared to Soros and the Tides Foundation. They're talking about the Koch brothers because they need to intimidate anyone with any kind of money or any kind of voice and say, sit down. They want control. All of these people just want control. It doesn't matter. You could be talking about Ahmadinejad. He doesn't agree with George Soros. Ahmadinejad wants control, and so does George Soros, for entirely different reasons. They're not working together. It's just that the world is up for grabs. And they'll control. He'll say he's controlling because it's for your own good. You need to be regulated. And we have once again become complacent with freedom. We have forgotten how quickly freedom can be snatched away. Do you remember what you felt like on 9/11? Do you remember being driven? You might not have picked up a Bible in I don't know how many years. I was one of them. And we all realized, oh my gosh, this could be over like that. It's 10 years later, and it's September 10th, 2001 all over again. And this time, it's the whole world up for grabs. It's a tinderbox. And even our religions are upside down. Watch yourself. Somebody wrote me, and I can't remember. What was the name, Joe, of that organization in Ohio that's going from church to church? Do you remember? I can't remember. I'll show it to you probably tomorrow, Monday, I think. They're going to Ohio, funded by this guy. Ronald Reagan did not sit down when he was told, don't tell him to tear down the wall, don't call him an evil empire. He didn't sit down. He called evil by its name and he spoke it and said, do it. Winston Churchill did not sit down when he lost everything. They practically threw him out of the building because he said the Germans are building an army against us. Well, gang, there is evil at our front door. It is in our house. They're in our living room. We're sitting there looking at them. We're talking to them. And everyone is saying, sit down. An army is being built, whether it be a global army of finance, food, energy, jobs, real weapons, religion. You must not sit down. Because just like there was another earthquake today in Japan, there will be another earthquake, a tipping point, whether manufactured or real, and it will push our world over the edge. I believe that moment could begin next month in Israel. That is when the flotilla sets sail. Whether it is next month or not, it is coming. You're already seeing the edges of it here in America, the seeds of anti-Semitism. While Soros's people call me an anti-Semite, let me show you what it looks like. A pipe bomb in Santa Monica today. Whether it is earthquakes by God or by man, batten down the hatches, remain standing, and build lifeboats for others, because others will join.
Tomorrow, it is time to take a stand. All of us together as a nation. We stand in defense of Israel. Friday, 5 p.m.
I want to show you something exciting. It's exciting. I like to call it Gog and Magog time on the Glenn Beck program. I want to show you some new alliances that if I would have told you this, and in fact I think I did, but if I would have told you that the world was going to start to line up with Iran, you would say that, oh, right. Remember, this is the pariah of the world. But I want to show you some new alliances, and one you should be quite concerned about. The first one we have is Iran and Turkey. Remember, Turkey is a NATO member. March 30th, 2011, Foreign Minister says he wants to turn over a new leaf with Iran. Well, who doesn't? This past Tuesday, the Foreign Minister said that he's been invited to visit Tehran and that he is planning to accept the invitation at some point. Remember, Iran, this is Iran and Egypt? Or, okay, that's Egypt. Iran thinks that we are the great Satan. Russia and Iran. This one is really important because Russia and Iran, this has never happened. This alliance is a little spooky. After 2009 Russian-Iranian elections, Russia's deputy foreign minister said, "We welcome the Iranian president on Russian soil and see it as symbolic that he made his first visit to Russia. This allows hope for progress in all bilateral relations." Iran is Russia's biggest trading partner in the Middle East. Russia helped Iran build their nuclear power station last summer. And then we go to Turkey, which is the third player that you don't want to miss. Okay. I'm going to post all this information online at glennbeck.com, and I'm not going to give you all the details. I was just going over it here in the break, and it's just easier for me to post this information at glennbeck.com, and you read it for yourself. Let me just explain this to you. Iran and Russia. Russia's building the nuclear power plants and huge trading partners. Egypt and Iran. That's Sunni Shia. These two do not get along. They're now buddy-buddy, and it's getting more and more cozy. Russia and China and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is so upset with us right now and our president that Saudi Arabia is negotiating a deal with China for their oil. What do you think is going to happen with that one? And these three are really critical. Nobody ever thought these countries could come together and form any kind of alliance. The reason I say nobody ever thought it is because people have been looking for these three to bring an alliance together for thousands of years. Well, since the book of Revelation said that Gog and Magog would come together. This is the alliance of Gog and Magog. Does that mean anything? I don't know. But let me ask you this. Do these countries seem friendly to the United States? Are these countries aligning themselves together, make our world, our Western way of life, more stable or less stable? Do they lead to higher gas prices, lower gas prices? More people killed, less people killed? More freedom or less freedom? Less corruption or more corruption? That's all I'm asking you to do on this program, is just look at things objectively. Stop listening to the clowns who have told you things like Fannie and Freddie is going to be fine. And start listening to your gut. Do your own homework. Back in a minute. Tomorrow is a very important show I don't want you to miss. It's time to take a stand for our friends in Israel. And then next week, actually, I think tomorrow, I'm going on comedy tour all across the country. Find out all the information at glennbeck.com. I'd love to see it from New York. Good night, America.